So yeah, Aliyah Boston has done something that I don't think is very beneficial for the Indiana Fever at all. So she has now signed a multi-year deal with Unrivaled, and I got no issue with Aliyah Boston, signing a multi-year deal with Unrivaled. Like, you can kind of do whatever you want in the off season, and if we're being very honest, like, Aliyah Boston, had she been fully healthy, clearly would have came into this season as a better player than she did last season. Like, she can do a lot more. She can do a lot more on the floor now than she could prior to the calendar year starting. And that is a good thing. That is very much a good thing. But we have to be real. Like, Aliyah is hurt. Like, she can't play back to backs. I would be concerned in a way for her in the playoffs. Not like overly concerned, but like slightly concerned. I would be definitely slightly concerned. I think that's a fair statement to make, is that there's a slight concern there for Aliyah Boston because, like, we have seen a player who can't play back to backs who might have to play 7 games in 13 days. And I don't know how Aliyah's knee is going to hold up. Why? Because, like, look, she got hurt in February and she's still hurt. This meniscus issue is not minor. Like, you can play a lot of the time on mine. Like, no, I don't mean not minor. It's not nothing. It's not so. If it's something that there's no way that it's not progressively. There's no way that it's getting better. If you get me, like, if it was healing in any way, she'd be already healed. It doesn't feel like she's moving better now than she did at the start of the year. At the same time, like, look, there's no stars are moving the same at the end as they did at the start of the year. But, like, when it comes to Aliyah, she needs to, whatever is needed to be done, whether it's rest, whether it's rehab, whether it's surgery. But again, like, she rested for months and that didn't seem to do anything. So my guess is that she opted against getting surgery. Because there is no way you have a meniscus issue that has lasted 8 months and it be nothing. And it not be something, I'm not going to say serious because, like, but like semi-serious. And maybe it's something that if it doesn't need surgery, it might have been okay with 6 weeks rest and she didn't have 6 weeks. But, like, what do we have now? Like, assuming the Indiana Fever make a decent playoff run, you have 10 weeks before you're checking in at Unrivaled, and you include playing at the World Cup. And the one positive for Aliyah is she's not really, like, when it matters, she's probably last off the bench for Team USA. Like, she has zero experience of playing. Like, they're going to play mostly age at center. Why? Because Stewie, like, I think backup center is going to be Angel Reese. Angel Reese's game suits the international game more. I think Aliyah's not going to play much. And, like, in Aliyah's, she's had one, like, spell for Team USA, and it was, like, they nearly lost to Belgium in that spell. That being said, like, it was with, like, her, Taurasi, Jewel Lloyd, Ariel Atkins. It was like a Ryan Howard was there. It was a weird kind of group of players in early 2024. But, like, I don't see Aliyah Boston. Like, I don't see her being a key piece for Team USA. I think she's probably going to ride the end of the bench. And I don't know which guard it's going to be when it matters. I really don't. I think Kelsey Plum, maybe. I think it could be her and Kelsey Plum, because obviously everyone's going to play minutes in the groups. If you know anything about these, like, China's best player's 18 years old and can't move in Zhang Jiu. Italy, USA are 35 points better than Italy. And who else is there in their group? I actually can't even remember. Is it Hungary? No, it's not Hungary. I actually can't even remember who the other team are in their group, but they are going to destroy whoever the other team is. Like, everyone's going to play in those group games, but, like, when it matters in the semis and finals, I don't think Aliyah's going to play much. But if we're being real here, what happens if she gets injured and Unrivaled? If she misses the whole season, it doesn't go against the fever cap. But I don't think she didn't miss any of the season this year. I can't believe WNBA is paying her a max and letting her do this after she messed up her knee. Like, as a fan of the Fever, you are allowed to be pissed off at this. And people being like, oh no, these players want to get money. Yeah, if the player, like, at the end of the day, whether, I've said this many times, whether your players are getting $10 million or getting paid $100,000, if they are doing something to risk being healthy for the team you're a fan of, you are allowed to be pissed. On a human level, there's a big difference between saying on a human level and a fan level. But from a fan perspective, you are allowed to be pissed at this situation. No matter what anyone says, you are allowed to be pissed. Because it is clearly negatively playing in Unrivaled last year clearly negatively affected the Indiana Fever's chances of winning a title. Because, like, I get it, Aliyah's been good this year. But we saw, like, ESPN, like, she has had one of the most overrated seasons I've ever seen from a player. Like, she's been good. Did Aliyah Boston deserve a spot on the All-Star team? Yes. Absolutely. Did she deserve a spot as an All-Star starter? Sure. Has she been better this season than Natasha Howard? No. Has she been better than Fee since she's come back? No. Has she been better than Jess Shepard? No. Has she been better than Angel Reese? No. On the season, has she been better than, I was trying to think of other bigs. Aja, obviously not. I'm trying to think of, like, other bigs. She's been better than, like, Hamby. She probably hasn't been as good as NECA. Like, is that a fair statement to make this year? But, like, she's been good. She's been very clearly at an all-star level. She's been one of the 6 or 7 best 4/5s, true 4/5s in the league. I'm not counting Stewie as kind of like a do-it-all 4. If you count her as that. And not only that, like, her decision-making has been slower this year. Like, you would have thought, especially with how quickly she adapted to a brand new role in 2024, that her decision-making would improve, and it feels like it's slower. Why? Could be because of injury. It could be because of injury, because injuries do affect things mentally. But look, like, she came into this season with people legitimately thinking post-Unrivaled that this version of Aliyah Boston could be the MVP. And if she makes an all-W first team, like, if she makes an all-WNBA first team, it would be, or not even, sorry, a second team even, it would be a crazy one. It would be a crazy one. And look, I get the frustration. I think Unrivaled probably threw so much money at her that she can't say no. Like, if Unrivaled are losing Caitlin Clark, or not getting Caitlin Clark, they need everyone else. They need everyone else. Like, based on Unrivaled's valuation, my expectation is that the amount of money they have to pay players is minimum 30-40 million. And that is like a conservative estimate, is that they have $40 million to pay players. Because they have to get everybody. If you're not getting Caitlin Clark, you literally need everybody else. Like, you need to give, like, I would be shocked if Aliyah Boston's getting paid less than her Supermax and Rivals. I would be shocked based on how much money this company has raised. I would be shocked if Aliyah Boston is getting paid less than Unrivaled in the WNBA. And if that's the case, on a human level, go get your bag. Another thing is Aliyah could just be finessing Unrivaled. Like, plenty of players have finesse teams in the WNBA, and Aliyah could be literally finessing Unrivaled. As well as that, there's no way in hell that Aliyah Boston didn't use Project B as a leverage here. Candace Parker is one of the big people in Project B. We know for a fact they're offering multiple millions to these star players. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Aliyah's making 2 to 3 million. Like, she's one of the biggest stars outside of, like, Paige in Unrivaled. Again, nobody's drawing viewership in that league, but outside of Paige and Stewie, she's the biggest name in Unrivaled. So I do genuinely think with Aliyah Boston that we see, that she's probably getting paid double her Supermax. But unfortunately, she is probably not going to let an injury fully heal and then go into 3 years of a Supermax And I would be worried that she enters next season with the same health issues and knee issues as she enters this season. And the problem is that now you're taking up, instead of 15% of salary cap, you're taking up 20% of salary cap. And people are being like, oh, this doesn't matter because, the salary cap increases. Well, yes, other than Monique Billings, every single player on the Fever that is on a multiple year deal. Their contract goes up in line with the salary cap. So whatever the salary cap goes up, their contracts go in line in terms of percentage. So the only player is Monique Billings, whose contract gets better next year. Every other player, like Aliyah, has a poison pill. So look, if Aliyah goes and gets hurt in Unrivaled next year again, or doesn't get surgery, doesn't rehab properly because she's trying to get back playing for Unrivaled, I'm not joking when I say this. Like, we could be looking at a situation where where that looks, I'm not going to say one of the worst contracts because there's some real bad contracts, but like that Supermax probably is going to turn out to be a bad contract. Not horrifically awful, but bad.